Hi, it's me. I hope the sound's louder this time. It's me talking again. Who I am, who cares? What I'm talking about, this. So here we go. And just quickly a little meta about the background about this stupid thing that I'm doing. I talk on Instagram, but I keep it short there, and I'm not going to keep it short here. So, not worried about keeping it short. Learn how to watch YouTube. Okay, here we go. So, Donald Trump issued more executive presidential orders, I guess you'd say, presidential directive, I don't know what they're called, than any president combined. And if you read through these, it's fucking batshit crazy. Like this person, wait, where's my list? I had a list. Like, hope my bookmarks aren't embarrassing or something. That would suck. Here we go. 14 pages of them so far. Fucking crazy shit. ADD stuff. This man needs medication. Like, if you thought of it, presidential order. Like, they're all just standing around, ready, like, presidential action, sir? Should I write that one down? You had a thought. Should I fucking write it down? That's the fucking children that are doing this shit. They have a nice font, though, right? Anyhow, we're going to talk about this one in some sense. President's Council of Advisory on Science and Technology. Sounds good, doesn't it? You can read this yourself. I'm not going to read it, but I'll point out, like, first it says, like, science is great, AI, quantum computing, biotechnology, all this awesome stuff. United States needs to lead on these stuffs, right? Innovation, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, of course. But here's the paragraph. At the heart of scientific progress lies the pursuit of truth. But this foundational principle, which has driven every major breakthrough in our history, is increasingly under threat. I'll try to read from here, so it looks like I'm looking at you. Today, across science, medicine, and technology, ideological dogmas have surfaced that elevate group identity above individual achievement, enforce conformity at the expense of innovative ideas, and inject politics into the heart of the scientific method. These agendas have not only distorted truth, but have eroded public trust, undermined the integrity of research, stifled innovation, and weakened America's competitive edge. That is complete fucking bullshit. And this is not my opinion. Science, you don't vote on science. It's not a voting thing. And this, very much shows the impotency of Trump's approach to things. And yeah, I would say the right wing is guilty of this. But let's focus on Trump because this is his dumb fucking executive order, okay? Science doesn't work this way. Science is a self-leveling thing. Science isn't a club you join. It's not... It's a way of thinking. Science is a way of thinking. And it has to correct itself. It can't not. Because in order for science to progress, you have to do things and publish them in ways that show other people how to recreate that work. That is the core of science, is that you do things, you say why they're important, you say exactly how you did it, and you essentially challenge people to recreate your work. Unlike a lot of industries where it's more private and, like, if you think of private companies where you're trying to hide your ideas, science is the opposite. You're telling people all your ideas. This is the peer review thing. So if I have some great idea and I write a paper about it, I say, here's my great idea. Here's what I did. Here's what happened. Here's how you do it. And this is fundamental, because now people can go try it themselves. And if I'm right and they do it and it also works for them, it kind of gives credence to mine. It's the first little straw in a sense. But it might spark ideas in them, like, oh shit, this works. And then what about this, So let's say I'm the top Harvard motherfucker. I'm libtard, Dr. Libtard extraordinaire. And I have this wrong scientific idea that I'm trying to push through based on what Trump is saying here. Because I have ideologies, damn it, and I'm going to get those through against the bad right-wing people, So I write a paper and it's fucking wrong. Now, some people might, that might get published. Like, hey, he's Dr. Jackoff from Harvard, so yeah, we publish that shit. They shouldn't do that. They do that, I want to point out, like, scientists are flawed human beings. Scientific organizations are flawed organizations. I am not claiming science has some perfection through and through. It's the way science works that gives it its power, that bypasses everything Trump says in this thing. So, if this hypothetical example, it might work for a while where this liar gets by because he's got a big swinging dick. But there's many motivations for people to prove this guy wrong. I can be some undergrad at some tiny little, state college and be like, "That's wrong. I'm gonna write a paper about this, and I'm gonna do the research, and people will read this paper." It's not like the music industry, where you can have a great song and no one will ever hear it, or you write a great book and no one ever reads it. Like, science is designed to look at ideas quickly. So there's many, many ways that you can get your paper reviewed and read, It's not like you can write some piece of shit and send it to, the Astrophysical Journal. But a legitimate paper about relevant topics will absolutely be read by those people, regardless of who you are. It's true, So if now I am motivated, I can overturn this big dick Harvard guy from my little tiny computer, basically. There's huge, huge, huge incentives for scientists to prove other scientists wrong. It's the core of what happens in science, So, people like Trump and other fucking idiots who don't understand science like to point at a few examples in history where, mainstream science was wrong. And they use that as, their little tiny grain of truth to kind of claim, like, if they disagree with it, then science is probably wrong, like it was wrong about epicycles, it was wrong about, bloodletting. But we discovered they were wrong because of science. So, sorry, but it's a wonderful thing. Science can't be wrong in the long term. It's never wrong in the long term. So if what Trump was saying was right here, America would suck at science, We have great scientific research institutions in this country, private and public, ones at universities, and, we do tons and tons and tons of research, world-leading research, There's nothing broken in American science. What's broken is that these people don't like some of the results, and they want to vote it down. They want to be like, no, we vote against that. Climate change, no, we vote against that. It's not a vote. Science is not a fucking vote. There's scientific consensus, which seems like voting, I guess, if you're, new to this. Scientific consensus is a very broad thing, and it changes slowly, Quantum mechanics, which is mentioned in this thing, was a very revolutionary idea, rejected by many, many, many great scientists, So, yes, there's entrenched wrong thinking, and it gets rooted out. And, some people say, like, science proceeds or progresses funeral by funeral, There's some people who really never adopt to the new way of thinking. Plate tectonics, the fact that continents move around, was a batshit crazy idea. And the establishment rejected it. Guess what? It's consensus scientific theory now. Science worked. Science always works. It always fucking works. So, Trump is used to things being manipulable. He likes to manipulate things. And I'm not saying this in a nefarious sense. Obviously, I think it's true in a nefarious sense as well. But he wants to pull levers. He's the president. He wants to pull these levers. So he wants to influence science. He wants to influence science. Just pause there. Like, that's crazy, right? He's not a scientist. Regardless of how smart you think he is, he's never contributed to science. He never will, right? His ideas about science are not fucking relevant. Now, if let's say that there's some federal body that has some stance about climate change, let's say, and it's possible that there's people in this place who get into dogmatic thinking and they get on their power trip and they do bad things. Like, it's not impossible for science to be manipulated, It's short term. It gets rooted out. The whole system is designed to root it out. So we don't need Trump or advisory people doing that. They can't really contribute to that. They don't know enough to. No one does. I don't. I mean, the system is already there to do this. There's nothing broken. The only thing broken is that Trump doesn't like some shit that's true. That's what this presidential directive, presidential action is about. Is Trump wishes some shit wasn't true, and that the fact that it is true, and he can't change that, irritates him, and he wants to try to change it. Nothing good comes from this. Literally, nothing will come from this. I mean, at best, we're gonna have these jack-offs saying like, God has been proven, and like other stupid shit, and that does no good for anyone, or worse, actually denigrating legitimate science like vaccines, the fucking miracle of the century. So nothing good can come from this, but it shows what the danger of Trump's mentality. 2 + 2 = 5 if enough people fucking vote for it. That's how Trump thinks. That's what this says, That we need politicians to monitor scientists. That's fucking absurd. It's patently absurd. So, if you want to justify your vote for Trump based on whatever the fuck, ... you fill in whatever fucking paragraphs you want here. This is insane bullshit. And you should be like, you guys, this is insane bullshit. What the fuck? And you guys don't do that. The right does not do that. The right does not criticize Trump. Will you please look through these presidential actions? They're batshit fucking crazy. They're vendettas. They're personal anecdotes and ideas of one of the dumbest people I'm aware of. And you guys are silent. You're not saying a fucking word. Somehow it's fine. It's not fine. This guy's a fucking risk. He's stupid. He wants us to believe stupid things. He wants us to do stupid things. Don't be complicit in that, okay? Stop being complicit in that. Like, what the fuck? Even if you like Trump better than Kamala Harris, it doesn't mean that we let Trump do whatever the fuck he wants. And why would you think otherwise? You never give people utter power over your fucking life. Why would you give it to Trump? It's insane. When is the GOP pushback on Trump gonna start? We're waiting. We're waiting, you pussies. Push back on that fucking idiot. Because he's taking your power, your money. He's undermining the future of the American economy. And you're quiet. Because the price of eggs is down, right? 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 No, it's not. Wake the fuck up. The people who are not woke. The woke people get it. That's why we're called woke. Because we're fucking awake. We're looking around. We're learning. We're understanding things. No, we're not fucking right all the time. We're on the process to be right. You're not. You're just facts don't get through your fucking brain, It's annoying. Read these things. I dare you. Read them. That's it for